just Midwest wrestling and wrestling like. I mean, I don't know what it's like on the West Coast, but week in and week
Yeah, I
out.
mean it's a lot different. I mean I grew up. I actually wrestled at Iowa, so used to the Midwest wrestling. I grew up in Stillwater, where Oklahoma State is. Wrestled at Iowa. You know, I've been around it my whole life, so it's nothing different. But it's been a transition from California to here for sure. But you know, things are way ahead of where maybe we expected at this point in time. So you know, we're real happy with where we're at right now.
Yeah, so wrestling in Iowa, so you know what to expect going in there with the crowd and all that. So
Yeah.
what are you doing to get your guys ready and give us some insight into
I
wrestling?
mean, the most important thing is the preparation of guys believing in what they've done and that they're prepared to go 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes hard. And you know, I think that's where we feel good is our guys are ready to go wrestle hard. You know, if you look at it on paper, um, obviously they're the better team when it comes to talent-wise. They got, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue chippers in the lineup where, you know, we got 2 or 3, but we've also got, you know, 4 or 5 guys we think have kind of, I guess, earned their way into, you know, top contender kind of guys. And they haven't done it yet, but, you know, in time we think it'll happen. So it's the best team in the country. We know what's coming, and we know the environment. But it's just an opportunity, you know, to prove where you're at, or on the opposite end. You know, at the end of the day, it comes down to these 10 guys. But we'll find out where we're at with the best team in the country, and then we'll get ready, you know, to move forward. Ultimately, regardless of what happens on Friday, win or lose, we need to be beating, you know, these guys in March, and that's the most important thing.
So then how do you feel about opening up? I mean, you're getting into Big Ten play, you're getting Big Ten play right at the top. So how
Yeah.
do you feel to get into that?
I think, you know, it is what it is. We don't have any control over that. The Big Ten does. But yeah, I mean, wrestling the best team in the country, the best team in the Big Ten. It's, you know, it's awesome at this time of the year. We started out with a pretty strong schedule. We've already been in 2 duels with, you know, very talented teams, and so we've seen it. They've been in a big atmosphere, not quite as big as this, but they've seen a top 10 team already. You know, they've seen another top 20 team or top 15. I'm not sure where they were, but it's, you know, it's nothing new. It's if we can do what we do in the room, it'll be a great duel for the fans.
And like you said, like your roster's not full of blue chippers, but it seems like you guys have like consistent depth. So how do you feel about that? It seems like your team's mature.
I think in college everything's about work ethic. It doesn't matter if you're a 4-time state champ or a 1-time state champ, and you know that's kind of the difference. You look at a guy like Terrazas, who's, you know, put himself into a top 10 national ranking where he's a walk-on. You know, and that's important. There's a lot of respect that needs to go to people like that. You know, he's earned where he's at now, and it's time for him to take that next step, you know, into the top 5 or hopefully even to the top, you know, 3. So we got a lot of guys like that have kind of, they're working their way up to the elite. So you don't really look at it as they got more talent or we got less talent. It's who's more prepared and who's mentally more prepared is the most important thing in matches like this. But down the road, we got a lot of guys coming. We got a lot of guys coming next year, and you know, so we will be able to match the top teams with talent in the near future. So we're excited about right now, and we're real excited about the future.
And then you brought did Devel come with you? Or
Yeah. Jesse transferred from Cal Poly here, and he's another one of those guys. His work ethic is second to none. You know, it's right up there at the top of the list on our team, and you know, he's had some good results so far this year, but he's going to get tested on Friday night, and it's time to find out where he's really at. You know, his goal is to be a national champ and a multiple-time national champ, and he's got a 2-time NCAA finalist and defending national champ, 2 years he won the nationals, but he's got the face of their program, and that program takes a lot of pride in their wrestling. So he's got to be ready to go. We know that kid's going to be ready to go. He's always ready to go. So Jesse Delgado's got a bright future, and you know, we'll find out where he's at on Friday night.
But yeah, just I think basically his only loss this year was a really tough one where he lost like the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, he lost to the number 2 or 3 guy in the country, and he was all over that kid. You know, I've never seen a guy lose a match that really kind of dominated the match so much, but that's freshman. That's being a freshman. So he knows, we got to get there by March, and this is our opinion. We ultimately feel McDonough is the guy to beat this year, the guy to beat next year. He's head and shoulders, ahead of the rest of the pack. So that's the guy you're chasing down, whether you're Jesse Delgado or you're the number 2, 3, or any of the guys at his weight. That's the focus is Matt McDonough. That's what happens when you're that talented and that good is you've got a target on your back.
Yeah, and then just last question. Just noticing Jesse's progress to this point. He's only a freshman, but he's made progress. Like facing number 1 team, and he's also facing the number 125 pounder. It's like, does his match set the tone?
Not necessarily. I mean, he's a guy that is in phenomenal shape and very active when he wrestles. It doesn't necessarily, it's nice to have that kind of guy at the beginning, but they also had that kind of guy. So really more importantly, it's 10 individuals being selfish and focusing on their matches. Each individual, regardless of what happens in the previous match, whether we win or lose, I think is going to be ready to go. And, that's how we're kind of looking at this dual meet. That's how you got to look at the Midlands, the Big Tens, the Nationals. You got to be selfish. You got to focus on yourself. So, there's no pressure on him. He's not the defending national champ. He needs to go out and wrestle hard. This is what kids, whether it's 25-pounder for us or heavyweight, this is what you dream of, in wrestling, is wrestling in these big events, the crowd against you. And, this is what wrestling's all about. So I'm sure they're all pretty excited about it.